So a couple months back, it might have been last month, I don't know at this point, but there was a 2-video stretch where I ranked every season of LeBron James's career and followed that up with ranking Kobe Bryant's seasons in his career. And I said in that Kobe video that if that video reached 5,000 likes, which it did, I will be doing the Michael Jordan version of this video. And here we are. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we are going to be ranking every season of Michael Jordan's career. Now, as a disclaimer for every single one of these videos, please keep in mind that I am comparing it to Michael Jordan standards. Michael Jordan's rookie year is a S season in general. But when we're talking about Michael Jordan and his standards, spoiler alert, it's not a S tier season. As you can see, we got the custom tier list maker on the screen right now, and I will leave the link in the description if you guys want to show me your version of this list. But before we get going, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another video on the channel hosted by your boy B Souls. I hope everyone's having a good day. I hope everyone's having a good week. Leave a like on this video for more videos like this. If this video reaches, let's go for 5,000 again. I'll do it on another player. I'm not sure who. Maybe leave that in the comment section down below as well, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It takes 2 seconds. It helps me out a lot. Last plug before we get started, links in the description to the Let's Keep It a Buck podcast. This week we had the homie Clicks production on. We had a really good conversation about a lot of things. One of the funniest episodes on the pod yet. But let's get into this. As you can see, the custom tier list is on your screen. From 1985 to 2003, let's get into it, starting with Michael Jordan's rookie season. Now, Michael Jordan's rookie season is one of the greatest rookie seasons of all time. It is very rare for a rookie to come into the league and undoubtedly be pretty much a top 10 player out the gate. Like, obviously there's players like Luka that come into the league and look like a star out the gate. That's, you know, that's pretty much what the rookie of the year is every single year. But for you to come into the league and be a 30-point per game scorer out the gate, that's rare. That's rare. And Michael Jordan was able to accomplish that in his rookie year. 28 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds, 2.4 steals on 52% shooting from the field and 85% from the line. Played 82 games out of 82 as a 21-year-old rookie. I think I'm gonna give this one a B. Let's just use that as the bar for now. Next up, we got the 1986 season. Now, this is Jordan's sophomore year in the league, and the most memorable moment of this season didn't even come in the season. It was in the playoffs in the first round against the 86 Celtics, where Michael Jordan dropped 63 points. Still a playoff record. And I think the most overlooked part of that performance was the fact that the game before, he dropped 49 points already. As far as a season where Jordan had the intention of playing from start to finish, this is Jordan's only year where he didn't play a majority of the season, as he suffered, I believe, a leg injury really early on in the season, and he only played 18 games. And he didn't play well when he came back, but obviously he turned it up in the playoffs. But nonetheless, when we're talking about Michael Jordan seasons, I am gonna have to put this one as a D overall. Now, 1987, Jordan's 3rd year in the league. This is statistically his best scoring season in terms of volume, because as you can see on the screen, this man averaged 37 points a game. 37. Oh my. Now, he didn't win MVP this year, but he did come in second, and he also made the All-NBA first team and the All-NBA defensive team, first team, Jesus Christ, All-NBA first, All-Defensive first team. And, you know, as great of a season as this was, I think I'm gonna have to give it an A, which is a tough A, because 37 points a game, how is that not an S tier, right? But we know the seasons that are coming up, and we gotta go with it, man. We gotta go with it. 1987 is a A-tier season. Now we get into 1988. This is Michael Jordan's first MVP season where he actually won the award, and once again, the numbers are crazy. Although his points per game went down by 2 points, his field goal percentage went up by nearly 5%. So I would say this is his best scoring season. Still averaged 6 assists a game, still averaged 6 rebounds a game, averaged 3.2 steals a game, 1.6 blocks. He won MVP this year, and won Defensive Player of the Year, one of the 3 players in history to be able to do that, along with Hakeem Olajuwon and Giannis this year. This is also the first year in Jordan's career where he made it out the first round. Now, he did face a bad boy Pistons in the second round, and they beat him in 5. But this is arguably the greatest regular season of all time, and I just can't. I can't not put this at S. I can't. So let's go ahead and do that. First S tier season for Michael Jordan. There we go. Now we get into 1989, and again, a lot of the same things. 33 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds, 3 steals, 1 block. And we are getting into that territory where Jordan's getting more playoff success. This is the first time in his career where he made the Eastern Conference Finals. And honestly, just looking at statistically compared to his MVP year the year before, you can still arguably make a case that he's gotten better, because his assists went up by 2 a game, his rebounds went up by 2 a game, he's still averaging 3 steals, his efficiency is still insane. So you know what, simply for the fact that he still put up numbers in the regular season really comparable to his MVP year the year prior, and the fact that he made it to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in his career, I'm gonna have to give this one an S tier once again. Now, I don't know if I'm being too lenient on the S tier seasons right now, but I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. Now we get into the 1990 season, and again, the numbers are insane. For him to do this consistently for like, what is this, a 8-year stretch, even with context, like Jesus Christ. Now, he did not win MVP once again like the year prior, but this is Chicago's first real like contending year, as they finished with 55 wins, second in the Eastern Conference. They once again made it to the Eastern Conference Finals facing the Detroit Pistons, and again, Jordan is getting one step closer to reaching that hump, as this time they take the Pistons to 7 games. And I think just from the precedence of us giving 88 a S tier and 89 a S tier, I think we're gonna have to give 90 as well a S tier. What doesn't make this a S tier season? Now we get into 1991, Michael Jordan's first championship year. Again, still put up the numbers: 32, 6 and 6, 3 steals, 54% from the field. I believe that is a career high in field goal percentage. Again, not by much, but nonetheless, it's still his most efficient year in a lot of regards. I believe even if you ask Jordan himself would say that this is his best version. Now, I think personally, it might be 93. But, you know, Jordan knows his body and his resume more than anyone. He led the Bulls to 61 wins, which was second best in the league, only behind the Portland Trail Blazers. He won his second MVP because of this, and when you go into the playoffs, he, again, hands down, leading up to this point, had his most dominant playoff run. He led the Bulls to a championship, only lost 2 games in that process, beat the Lakers in 5, caught that first elusive title for the man. S tier. Now we go to 1992, Jordan's second ring, Jordan's repeat season. He led the Bulls to by far the best record in the league, winning 67 games, which was 10 more wins than any other team that season, which led him to win MVP once again. And then we get into the NBA Finals, and if you guys know anything about Michael Jordan, leading up to this Finals, there was actually a conversation to be had between Clyde Drexler and Michael Jordan. Now, Michael Jordan took that as disrespect because, obviously, at least to him at the time, he was a league above Clyde Drexler, and he definitely proved it in the finals as 36 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals on 53% from the field, 43% from 3. He shot 28 threes, so it wasn't just like he shot 10 threes the whole series, and shot 89% from the line. Yeah, he shot the most threes out of any player that series, and oh man, not a shortened 3-point line too. S tier, easy. Now we get into 1993, and Michael Jordan and the Bulls are back. They are trying to get that three-peat, a feat that we kind of just take for granted today, but back then, understand that leading up to this point, the only team to three-peat in history were the Bill Russell Celtics when they won like 8 in a row, and maybe the George Mikan Lakers. I might be wrong on that, but nonetheless, this is an extremely rare opportunity for Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. Now, in terms of the regular season record, the record did go down by 10 wins compared to the season before, but if you literally ask any player throughout history who's trying to go for a repeat, nonetheless a three-peat, what they will tell you is that it is very grueling on the body. And I believe there are articles you can read out there that did say that this season specifically, the Bulls load managed a little bit more, rested their players. Michael Jordan wasn't giving it all out every single night, yet they still won 57 games, which is still pretty good. Very similar to 2019 when the Warriors only won 57 games, but we knew for a fact that although they didn't have a better record than the Raptors or the Bucks, we knew that talent-wise, they were still the best team in the league. And the same applied for 1993. However, Michael Jordan did not win the MVP that year because of that record, and instead they gave it to Charles Barkley, which he met up with in the NBA Finals, and Michael Jordan went to work. This dude went to work. As I mentioned in my last video, Michael Jordan arguably had the greatest finals performance of all time. Now, I know you can bring up 2016 LeBron when he came back from 3-1 against the Warriors. You can bring up 06 Wade against the Mavs. You can bring up other performances like that. I'm cool with that. But keep in mind that Jordan was so dominant this series. Again, this is against the reigning MVP. This is against a 61 team, a very talented team. He was so dominant this series that there was never anything to come back from. And I would say going into the series, this was a pretty even series, and Jordan just laid his foot on the series. 41 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, a block, 51% from the field. The numbers are insane. S tier. Now we get into 1995. Now, 1995 is probably the most controversial year in terms of talking about Jordan's legacy, because people were saying that when he came back, he was rusty, and then when he got bounced out in the second round in the playoffs by the Magic, they were like, but Jordan's rusty, B-Souls. He wasn't 100% healthy, which I get, but he didn't look too rusty when he was dropping double nickel in the Garden. Also, keep in mind in that same series, Jordan was still good enough to average 31 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks a game on 48% shooting from the field. So even with Jordan being rusty, he was still putting up the numbers, bro. He was still putting up the numbers, and I believe he just underperformed in whatever game it was. Was it game 1? 19 points, 8 turnovers, 8 of 22 shooting. Scotty, though, Jesus Christ, you weren't rusty. But, and going by the precedence of this video, because of the fact that we gave Jordan's 1986 season a D, we have to give this one a D once again. 1996, S tier. One of the greatest seasons of all time. You have to give that one an S tier, and I already did it right there. Actually, no, I didn't. Where did... Oh, Jesus Christ. 1996 S tier. 1997 was actually one of the closest MVP races of all time. Look at how close this race is between Karl Malone and Michael Jordan. Keep in mind, that is 19. Can I count? 29 points between Karl Malone and Michael Jordan. And we're talking about total points won. That is a very close margin. And keep in mind, the only real difference between 1996 and 1997 for Jordan was the fact that the Bulls won 67 games instead of 72, which is still 67 games. Like, what the... Made it to another NBA Finals, averaged 32 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists on 46% from the field, had that iconic flu game, and he beat a 61 team in the Utah Jazz with the MVP. Got number 5, which put him in a really, really rare category, a really, really rare bracket of greatness. And I think if we put 96 as an S tier season, Jordan and the Bulls winning 5 less games, but Jordan having a much more dominant finals series, that kind of makes up for that gap. So that's an S tier season. 1998, Jordan is going for his second three-peat. Let me reiterate that, his second three-peat. In terms of scoring wise and efficiency wise, this is probably Jordan's worst year. He averaged a career low in free throw percentage, 46.5%, we've seen him do much better in the regular season. 3.5 assists a game, we know he can do better, and this was really the season where his age was really showing out of any year. But nonetheless, despite Scottie nearly missing half of the season due to back injuries, I believe, and a guy like Steve Kerr not playing a full 82 game season, and Dennis Rodman only starting 80 games because he was showing his age and he wasn't as dominant as he was when he first came to Chicago. Although, Jesus Christ, he still averaged 15 rebounds a game. But it was clear at this point that Dennis Rodman in 98 wasn't even Dennis Rodman 2 years ago. The fact that he led the team to 62 wins is insane. Also, with all the drama going on that season, if you guys watched The Last Dance, y'all would know about that. Them winning 62 games is much more impressive than it meets the eye. And then we get into the NBA Finals, and as you can see, pretty much everyone on the court is struggling efficiency-wise, aside for Tony Kukoc. John Stockton, 49%, cool, but you were averaging like 10 points a game. As you can see, this was clearly a defensive series. It's very similar to 2010 if you look at those statistics. But the man, he clutched it out. He clutched it out in his last year in Chicago in the last game. An absolute masterpiece of a performance. Had that, you know what I'm saying, that game winner over Byron Russell to win the game, to win the series, to capture his second three-peat, to capture his 6th ring, going 6-0 in the finals. A storybook ending to a storybook career, it seemed like. So again, statistically it wasn't the best, but in terms of the closure provided, in terms of the storyline, in terms of he was still Jordan, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like Jordan was a scrub. With that all added up, you have to give this a S tier. He also won MVP again that year. I don't know if I mentioned that, but you have to give it a S tier. So Jordan wins his 6th ring. He retires, doesn't play in 99, doesn't play in 2000, doesn't play in 2001. And then he comes back as a 38-year-old for the Washington Wizards because I don't know exactly the reason, but I believe it was simply because he had like an itch to play the game again and he thought he could really help the players on his roster. So he came back, you know what I'm saying? 2002, played 60 games, 23 points a game. Mediocre efficiency, but once again, consider the spacing at this time, consider his age first of all, and the help around him. Pretty easy to say that these are D seasons in terms of especially Jordan standards. But you know what, since he does have 9 S tier seasons, let me just go ahead and speed run through a quick ranking of those S tier seasons. I think I'm gonna go 91 as his best season overall now that I think about it, because he led the Bulls to a 61 season, he got his 1st ring, and he did win a championship once again. Very similar to 93. If you say 93, go ahead. So I'm gonna put 93 as well, up there with 91. And then I'm going to go in 92 because he led the Bulls to 67 wins, one of the best records in that Jordan era, next to 97 and 96. Had a very dominant finals run, so let me go 92 as his 3rd best season overall. Hot take, 97. I'm picking 97 over 96 because of the reasons I explained earlier on in this video. And then I will go 98, although just between me and you, this is my favorite Jordan of all time, the same way Kobe in 2013 is my favorite Kobe of all time. 98 Jordan is just, the finesse in this game was just crazy that year. So 98 Jordan right there. I'm gonna go 1990 next because he did make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, took the Pistons to 7 games. And between 88 and 89, like I said earlier on in this video, despite Jordan having the accolades in 88, I don't think 89 was that far off statistically speaking and in terms of his skill. And he did make it to the Eastern Conference Finals in 89 as well. So I'm gonna go 89 and then 88, even though 88 is a season where he won MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. I am a guy who does value winning. I don't just, forget the point of the game of basketball like other people, So there it is. There it is, my final Michael Jordan ranking of every season in his career. We have 9 S tier seasons, 1A, 1B, and 4D seasons. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, man. Leave a like on the video if you liked it. If this gets 5,000, I'll do KD or Curry next. Let's go KD or Curry next. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to keep up to date with uploads like this on the channel. But with that being said, I'm out.